everybody, this is Cybersurgeon, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV Beginner's Guide. This is going to be in patch 4.18. A new patch just came out. And we're picking up where we left off last time. Just completed those quests. Still a little bit of stuff on the hunting log that was around the area. Just minor, killing some stuff. So I didn't bother recording all of that because it was just simply killing some things. Go ahead and skip this cutscene. So we came back and we turned in our level 5 archer quest. So then we'll receive a new archer's arm, in addition to having the option to choose a new piece of gear. Because we purchased gear already, we can look at the item comparisons and see. So this would be an upgrade, going from item level 5 to 6. And if you see the dexterity, the strength, which we don't need as an archer, would be replaced by determination, which would be a little helpful. And you can look item comparison for each individual item to see which one will actually give you an upgrade. While you're leveling up, I would just recommend getting whatever's going to give you your primary stat or just a basic increase to your item level while keeping your stats mostly the same. So we'll go ahead and get this tunic. Untradeable. Yes. So for untradeable and unique items, like I just pointed out, if you hit Control I to bring up your Armory Chest, an untradeable and a unique item just means you can't give it to another player, and you can only have one at a time. So we'll go ahead and run out to this passing muster, and we haven't attuned ourselves to Bent Branch Meadows yet, so we can't actually use that Ethernet crystal to teleport over there, but we'll save a little bit of money by running. It's not that far, and it'll give a little bit of time to point out some stuff. So for this episode, I really wanted to go over the Armory Chest because, as you guys should remember, in the last episode, we needed to hit level 5 for all these various pieces of gear, which we have by completing some quests for the Archers Guild. But this does mean that it's a good opportunity to show, with the new weapon and everything, what the Armory Chest is. So as I said before, if you hit Control I, you'll bring up your Armory Chest. What this is equipable gear, basically kept in a separate tab from your inventory, so that way you can carry the gear for all your various classes at the same time. You don't have to worry about going back to your retainer or to your bank, effectively, in order to switch between each class. You can have all your various items. There's more than enough space for one of each main hand weapon, including your crafting weapons. So you can have every class active at the same time and very easily swap between the two. As you get to higher level, if you're not really maintaining your armory quest or your armory chest, you will get to a point where you'll need to, remove some stuff. You'll have a bunch of, rings and just items that you may have leveled past, but then when you're trying to level up a new class, they won't fit anymore, and those items will go to your inventory. You got to move those in and out. But that's not a huge deal. So we have the Armory Chest up, and we have our new Maple Shortbow. So there's two ways we can do this. We can either go to the Armory Chest and manually equip each piece of gear, or you can hit this recommended gear button, and it'll automatically switch to every piece of gear that is higher level than what you already have. While you're leveling up, it's pretty safe to use basically all the time while you're leveling up. When you get to the end game and you're trying to maximize your stat ratios for certain things, it's no longer as great, and there will be points in times where it does some weird stuff. I have a situation on, I don't remember which one of my classes on my main character, where it keeps trying to unequip my end game ring and replace it with a item level, like a ring that's for like a level 50 character. I have no idea why it keeps trying to prioritize that ring, but it does every time I click that recommended gear tab. So it's great while you're leveling, becomes less great as you level up. So we're gonna go ahead and run over to the Life Mend stump. And what I've done since the last episode is I've actually opened my inventory and I moved the potion onto a hotbar, so that way if I get into a sticky situation like happened at the end of the last episode, I can very easily just use my potion from right here instead of needing to, in the middle of battle, try to open my inventory. And that's a good thing that you want to try to think about. So we're about to do a story quest. And it's an instanced story quest. So we don't have to do this right now. We could go and do a bunch of side quests or hunting logs or all kinds of crazy stuff. But what would happen then is if we were trying to do this quest and say we were level 15, it would scale us down to level 9 in order to make the quest challenging and appropriate for its place in the story. Go ahead and skip the cutscenes again. Like I said, I am skipping the cutscenes because I don't want to spoil any of the story for anyone. If you guys decide you do want to see what's going on in the cutscenes, feel free to let me know and I can start showing them. But that's kind of the logic between not showing them right now. So we do have a couple NPC allies out here right now. We have a thaumaturge and a pugilist. So it does give you a little idea of what those classes have aesthetically, if you were interested in any of the classes. The thaumaturge you can see right here, casting some fire, some ice, and then you have your pugilist punching stuff. So I will say, if you don't pay attention to the story and you just kind of skip forward, sometimes you'll encounter a situation like this where you don't really know what's going on. I mean, I do, but you can very easily find yourself in a situation where, say, you needed to be attacking the frenzied wolves, the ads that are coming in, but you're sitting there focused on the elm the whole time because you didn't realize that they said in the story for you to take care of the small things, and they will take care of the big ones. So in that situation, what you just want to do is be focusing on these ads and just get them all out of the way. The short-tempered thaumaturge and the animated pugilist will do more than enough damage to kill this elm if you can, one, make sure you stay alive, but two, if you can help them stay alive by getting some other stuff off of them. Since we have a damage over time ability in our venomous bite, we are going to try to make sure we keep that up on the frenzied elm the whole time. And just had an example of a targeted ability that the enemy used. Telegraphed ability, I don't remember what the exact term Final Fantasy uses for it. But when there was that big orange circle on the ground, that's just showing you where exactly an incoming ability is. And that's the most standard form the game uses to show that. As you get later on, it'll mix it up. Sometimes it'll be black and purple. Sometimes it'll be blue. Sometimes it'll be just whatever color is appropriate for the ability. But almost all of those are zones you're going to want to stay out of. If it's a very light pale blue, then those are usually friendly ones that you're okay to be in. And you'll get used to seeing the abilities that your allies use that are safe for you to stand in. But a general rule is if you see that orange circle, get out. And make sure you are out before they finish casting the ability. You'll see them with a little cast bar. Oh man, I just right-clicked. When you're playing the archer, you just want to be careful. If you accidentally right-click something, you'll shoot it because you'll automatically attack with your whatever you end up right-clicking. What was it? I just lost my train of thought because I accidentally clicked that stinking funguar. Oh, yeah, the orange circle. If you're targeting an enemy and they are using an ability that's got that targeting circle, then what is really important is that you're not in that circle or that rectangle or whatever targeting shape it is at the end of the cast of the ability. They'll go through, they'll sometimes do a big long animation, and it's okay to be there when the animation is going off. What's important is where you were. What the server cares about is where you were when they finished casting the spell or the ability, whatever kind it is. I think I just accidentally bumped my mic there, so if I did, I do apologize. Go ahead and turn in this magic blade. And like I said, you know, as you can see, we are getting a fair amount of experience every time we turn one of these things in. So we're just going to be working on the main storyline as much as possible. to try to level as quickly as possible. Look at the map, and we're going over to this orange circle over here. You can also, well, when we were out of range, you could see the little arrow. And just on your mini-map, I don't know if I pointed this out before, but these little circles, these are the targets for this quest. And they will reflect what type of quest you're doing. So since it's a main story quest, it's got the little flames around it. Tell you what, I am so used to having all the fancy stuff that you get later in the game that it throws me off every time I get into combat. Where's my chocobo? But we will go over that right now. Something just to look forward to is you get something to help you out with these kind of quests later on. So we got all the Fs, and now we're just running back. I'm just going to take a look at the hunting log really quick to see. Usually what I try to do is make sure by level 10, because that'll be when we are at the end of this bracket of the hunting log, we want to make sure we have completed everything in the hunting log just so we can move on to the next rank and get the experience for that. And as you rank up, your story quest will naturally take you to places that will have enemies that appear on your hunting log. So we have a bow upgrade here. We can't use it yet until level 8, but we do have a bow upgrade, which is nice. Now we need to run back over and get some chigoes. I don't know how to pronounce that. They look like flies. Whatever they're called. These little buggers. Depending on how long this takes, I might speed through some of this part, just depending, because like I said, when it's just running around killing stuff, what I'll probably end up doing, maybe not this episode because there's only a couple minutes left according to my timer, but if there is, if I go to record and I've seen that I'm spending kind of 10 minutes in combat without anything particularly new happening, then what I'll do is I will speed through that part, where if I do still show it, it'll be at an accelerated pace, trying to get, from important thing to important thing. Otherwise, I don't know, I guess if I get any questions in the comments or on Twitter or Facebook or anything, I can use this downtime to kind of answer those questions too. But right now, when it's just starting out, and don't really have any questions or anything yet, it's a little hard to fill this particular space. Let's go ahead and kill that one, and we'll run back. Remember, we can sprint basically all the time, so we want to be doing that, even though we're only running a short distance. Just makes it a little faster. So this gives us some win shards. For right now, you'll see these shards all the time. You'll get them in a ton of different quests. And right now, they mean basically nothing to you. When you can start crafting, they become extremely important. So for now, just take a little satisfaction every time you get some shards, knowing that if you do decide to engage in crafting, you're just kind of helping your eventual crafting goals. So we hit level 8, and as you can see right here, we acquired a heavier shot, which is a trait. And these are just passive things. So right now it says, with heavy shot, we have 20% shot. There's 20% chance that the next straight shot will deal critical damage. So what we can do here, so we already know that using straight shot increases the critical rate. And what we can do is, as soon as we have it up one time, just to get that buff on, then we can naturally refresh that buff every time we get one of these additional effects. It'll likely happen within the next 20 seconds if you are fighting a target the whole time. And it makes it to where it's a little easier to maintain that buff, because you would want to use it. See right here with it lit up, we want to use straighter shot right now because it's going to guarantee critical damage, which, as you can see, did 21 as opposed to our heavy shot only doing 16. So it makes the straighter shot just useful in the basic rotation. Let's go ahead and grab this stuff. The other thing that we just got with level 8 was a roll action. So I'll go ahead and explain that real quick. That'll be the last thing we go through before we get into the next episode. The roll action, if you press P to bring up your actions, you can kind of think it as P for spellbook, almost. There's nothing really that starts with P that directly has anything to do with this. And we click roll, we can see we have 0 of 1 right here. That means we can choose if we had more unlocked, and you can see what level you'll unlock your roll actions. If we had more unlocked, we can choose up to 1 of them to be using right now. And so since we only have second wind, we'll go ahead and pick that. As you can see, it will increase or it'll restore some HP, but it'll also scale up based on our attack power. So if we use something, it just basically means that the stronger we get, the more we do damage. If we get a buff of some kind that'll increase our attack damage, it will also increase the amount of healing that we can get from second wind, which makes this a really useful kind of sustainability for any DPS class to have, because the more damage you could be doing, the stronger your self-heal will get. So let's go ahead. We're just going to sprint through here. We're not even going to... We're going to draw aggro from some Bogyardens, but we're not going to care. We're just going to keep running. But yeah, so that's going to be... There's a little quick explanation of roll actions. I think it's probably better to go through each action as we actually get them, rather than sit here and explain them all right now while you're level 8 and unable to use all but one of them. So that's kind of the plan. So on the next episode, we will go over, hopefully, we'll hit level 10. If nothing really happens between here, I'll probably just start working on leveling to level 10 and recording, and this will likely be the first... This next episode will likely be the first time that I just kind of zoom through certain parts just to try to show going through these quests, just to see that just so that you can see with the footage that I'm not doing anything extra, I'm not doing anything special, I'm just doing the main story quests, and that's how I'm leveling, making sure to practice what I preach. But on the next episode, we will continue going through the main story quests. We will hopefully be at least level 10, and we will start talking about the Guild Hest feature and the things that you can use the Duty Finder for, which will be the next kind of way to quickly and easily level up. So thank you very much for sticking around. I hope this was educational and entertaining. If it was, please make sure to like it, and comment if you have any questions or any ideas for things that you would like to have covered, or if there's anything that I missed that you particularly wanted to know. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks again.